So you guys know what I realized? It's probably like the biggest movie we've ever done. Think we're ready for it?
Oh, us? Oh, no, absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Alright, everybody, welcome to Shark Jump Inc. I'm Corey.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Shelby.
And we just got out of Thor Ragnarok. So, Thor Ragnarok, it's the third movie in the Thor franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people had a lot of expectations coming into this one.
Absolutely.
Coming, like, from the trailers and from, like, the new blood bringing in Taika Waititi.
Mm-hmm.
It's less of a, hopefully less of a, like a factory-made Marvel product.
Yeah.
Like the other two.
Yeah. So, what we're here to answer is, did it deliver? And who wants to answer that first?
I think I will.
All right.
So, I think it did deliver, at least for the most part, in being, well, different from your average Marvel movie, and in that case, your average Thor movie. Because both of the Thor movies have been more underwhelming than anything.
Yeah.
But this movie really delivers when it comes to comedy and performances and style.
The comic timing in this movie is insane. It might legitimately be the funniest movie I've seen this year. I can't really think of a whole lot of movies funnier that have came out. But besides that, there's great performance, like you said, great performances all around.
Yes.
I said like recently off camera that like this kind of feels like one of the only Marvel movies that has a specific voice behind it. Like Taika Waititi being like one of my like favorite directors working like today. Seems like I say that every other like once a month now. Like Denis Villeneuve, Taika Waititi, but no, but he really is, and it kind of feels like his voice actually did come across in this movie rather than they hired like an indie director and he told them like he was told what to do. And what did you think about like the stakes? Like, emotionally, like how do you think this movie holds up?
There are moments which we'll get more into that in like the spoiler section.
Right.
But there were definite like moments that like the emotion paid off. There was one that we talked about specifically that didn't. Like
Right.
It's like, that happened. But other than that, like the emotion, the stakes, all that was good. And as we've said, hilarious movie.
That's the main thing coming out of here. Like, this movie is funny.
Yeah.
It is legitimately hilarious.
One thing I want to say, this is not a fault to the movie. At the beginning of it, I was confused because I hadn't seen Thor: The Dark World. So there was, like, some stuff that had happened that was, like, directly from Thor: The Dark World that I was like, I have no idea what's going on.
This movie in particular seems to finally, like, dive into, hey, if you're not caught up on every movie, you're gonna, like, we're not gonna like handhold you anymore.
This one did not.
You need to be caught up with these movies, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Like, in order to get it. And I kind of get that with this being, what, like the 17th
Something like
Marvel movie or something like the 18th. Like, we're around that area. And I kind of get that at this point, finally, like, being like, I just know it. Just be, like, kind of caught up. Because this movie had a lot to do with, like a lot of the jokes and stuff came from Age of Ultron, and a lot of the plot points came from Age of Ultron. A lot of plot points came from Thor: The Dark World, and like so, like I think somebody who wasn't caught up wouldn't get a lot of the humor or wouldn't get a lot of like a lot of the plot points. I don't necessarily think that's a fault. I mean, it might be like a small fault, but like as for faults with this movie, I don't have a whole lot. Like it's a pretty well executed movie. The main complaint with this movie going around is that it's a fun ride, but there's not a whole lot of substance there. I kind of think there is a lot of substance there with like relationships with Loki and relationships that Thor has with other characters.
Yeah.
But my fault with this movie, and it's not really a detriment to her because she's good in this movie, but Kate Blanchett, she's great in the movie. But it kind of seems like whenever the stuff where Thor is on Sakaar, like that stuff is so breakneck and fast paced and hilarious. Wherever it goes back to Asgard with her and Scourge, it kind of seems like a detour for plot related reasons. And I know why it's there.
And it almost feels like an afterthought at times.
Exactly, it kind of feels like an afterthought. And she, like I said, she's great. Carl Urban's great. It's not their fault. It's not even really the director's fault because they have to kind of set up a conflict toward the end and like for a reason for Thor to get back. It's just whenever it pops up, you're kind of like, okay, let's get back to Thor.
Yeah.
Like, so like I don't want to penalize the movie too much for that, but that is, I guess, my main problem with it. I didn't really have a whole lot of problem.
I also agree with that, and I was thinking the same thing, but like, because it kind of like slows down a little bit when it's those spots, and you're just like this is good. It definitely has interesting spots. Like, there's a part whenever she's like walking around Asgard. I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but like she looks at like their like his little treasure room, and like there's little Easter eggs. It's kind of funny. And so there's like little stuff like that, and like so it's really cool. But it's like okay, just go back to Thor and like all of those like funny relationships and stuff like that, because like there's just some hilarious characters in this.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Goldblum playing himself.
Jeff Goldblum is the Goldblumiest of Goldblum.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen him just be like let off the leash to be like this Goldblum. Like, he is like apartments.com Goldblum.
Yeah, it's ridiculous and it's hilarious. And then there's the director, he also voices a character, and he might be the funniest character in the entire movie, because just any time he's like on the screen and has a line, it is the point that he had this one line in particular at the end of the movie, so I won't like say it.
I will say it in the spoilers, because it is that
I couldn't breathe and I was crying because I was laughing so hard, and it's literally like at the end of the movie, and then like we got out and we were just referencing it. We've been like just referencing it, just sitting here talking. It was just so funny.
So he plays like a big rock monster, and he's got like this unassuming like Kiwi accent. So they like together they like not really clash, but they kind of create something unexpected, and it's just so funny the stuff that he says, and it's like one of the best director roles of all time.
Right.
Like it's great. But besides that, Chris Hemsworth, his comic timing is insane.
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson's really good in the movie. Like, she's funny and badass.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston, he's always good, especially in this role.
Very much.
Kate Blanchett, she's good. Carl Urban, like, everybody's good.
Mark Ruffalo.
Massive cast. Idris Elba, I don't think he's really ever had a whole lot to do in any of these movies, especially with how big of a name he is, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
He's never really had a whole lot to do in any of these movies. That doesn't really... He might have at least to do in this one. Like, he's not a huge part of this one.
I still liked him in this one, though.
No, he's Idris Elba. He's still good. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's more of the movie not really serving him than it is, like, him being bad in the movie.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's, like, that, like, broad, like, not broad, but, like, that dense of a character.
Yeah.
And, but so he's still good in it, and I'm not leaving out anybody. Anthony Hopkins has kind of sleptwalked through this whole franchise, but he's not in this movie that like as much. He plays a small role in
the Benedict Cumberbatch scene is hilarious. Like,
there's a scene with Doctor Strange, and he's great in it. He's hilarious. Am I forgetting anybody? There's a massive cast. I probably am.
I mean, there are a handful of smaller bit roles.
There's a lot of smaller bit roles that I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, I'll say there's the cameo that I want to spoil.
That I'll bring up.
I honestly wouldn't bring it up, just that way no one gets it spoiled for them.
Well, I assume if people are watching the spoiler reviews, they've seen the movie.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that we've talked, and yeah, so it's a like a very vibrant movie. The colors pop.
Yeah.
It's not really a problem, but like you could tell a lot of times when they use like green screen or like some CGI isn't like fully like it's kind of like obvious, but like I mean at this point. Like, all these movies are CGI, like, and it doesn't bother me at this point at all. It doesn't take me out of the movie or anything. It's not, like, horrendous. I think that's it. The score, it's a Marvel score. It's not...
pretty good for a Marvel score.
You thought so?
I thought so. They had more synth stuff, so it actually felt more like a score than the usual generic hero-type stuff that we usually get for Marvel movies.
Something that I do want to bring up is like the Immigrant Song was a huge part of like the trailers. And usually when you have something in like trailers and stuff, it never really plays in the movie, but it plays like a bigger role in like the actual movie, and it's used really well.
Scenes and stuff.
Yeah, it's used really well. That wraps up everything for me. Is there anything I want to bring up before we get into spoilers?
Nothing non-spoilery.
Nothing non-spoilery?
I was going to cover the cast stuff, and you already did that. So, I want to emphasize the problem I had with the movie.
Okay,
The first act felt really rushed. rushed at times. And also really wasn't that funny compared to how funny the second and third act was. So I felt like the first act was kind of hit and miss.
I don't know if it was rushed, but I feel like the movie hits its stride when he gets off, when he gets into, what's the planet called again?
Sakaar.
When he gets on Sakaar, that's where the movie it hits its stride, and that's when it's at its best.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it's rushed, but I don't think it's at the top of its game.
That, and also, it feels just kind of weightless, in my opinion. I think it's mainly...
The movie as a whole?
No, the first act, mainly. Just feels kind of weightless. Just, there's something about the tone, and then a lot of it's just trying to end plot threads from Thor: The Dark World and such, and that kind of drags the movie because the main thing I like about this movie is that it doesn't take this Asgard stuff seriously. It's all, but unfortunately, Thor and Thor: The Dark World kind of did, and so the first act is kind of still taking it somewhat seriously.
This movie kind of made me forget about the other two Thor movies, honestly. Like, I forgot a lot about those movies and, like, the tone and everything. But overall, I think this movie is a huge recommend. Before we actually rate this movie at the end of the spoiler reviews, you should definitely go see this movie. Then come back and watch our spoiler review and catch our actual ratings.
Share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends. We have to get you coming back. We have to pull double duty, get you to watch it twice. But as for non-spoilers, that will wrap us up. And if you're not staying for our spoilers, leave now. If you are, and take a little break. And license no.
James Gunn directed at least one episode of The Office in season 9.
Joss Whedon directed some episodes of The Office.
I directed some episodes of The Office.
Whoa!
You never watched the show before.
I think Disaster Artist is supposed to explode at some effect.
Why do they have two completely different sides in the room?
So I'll forget them tomorrow.
Yeah,
I take off my 2 socks and I pull them to where they're.
Put them to where they're together.
Yeah. I have total new socks.
Look at me, I have socks.
No,
those aren't even the same socks. I think they're really not.
One's black, one's brown. You're they're close enough.
I think one's gray and one's black.